When you go to algebra, you're going to start hearing the word function a whole lot. So my job this year is to introduce it to you. And just know that when you get to algebra, you're going to do a whole lot of stuff with functions. But in my class, all you have to be able to do is identify a function. So your job today is going to be able to look at something and say, yes, it's a function, or no, it's not. Yes, there's a lot of math involved with functions, but in 8th grade math, we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to identify a function. So what's our job today? Saying yes, it's a function, or no, it's not. So here's what a function is. A function relates an input to an output. For every input, which is your x, there can only be one output, which is your y. Now, I'm just going to introduce this to you so that you understand it when you get to algebra, but you don't need to know all this yet. The way we name functions is we call them by letters of the alphabet. This right here is pronounced f of x. Okay? It is the classic way to write a function. So you know how we graph lines and stuff? Yes? What if we were to graph 3 lines together? A lot of times they want to name them, so I can say, hey, when you look at G, or when you look at F, or when you look at K, then you know which line I'm talking about. So it's basically a way to name an equation. That's what a function is, okay? So we call them f of x, or g of x, or k of x. It's just the classic way to write it. This letter right here is the name of the function. This is the input, and everything over here is the output. Now, you don't have to know that in 8th grade. I just wanted to introduce that to you. Here's what we're going to do today. To identify a function, simply check that no x repeats itself. Did I say anything about the y's? Do we care about the y's? No. All we care about is that no x repeats itself. So this is how easy it is. When you have ordered pairs, you're just going to highlight the x's. So everybody look at this first one. Y'all know in an ordered pair, it's an x first and then a. So highlight the x's, the first number of the ordered pair. We do not care about the y's. And then say them out loud. -1, +1. Are those the same number or totally different numbers? Totally different. 2, 3, 4. Are all of these different numbers? Therefore, this is a function. So you would write, yes, it's a function. Why was it a function? Because no x repeated itself. That's how easy this is. Okay? Let's go right here. Highlight the x's. You good? Highlight the x's. I have -1, +1, 2, and -1. Is this a function? No. Who can tell me why? There's 2 -1s, and the x's cannot repeat to be a function. They were the exact same numbers, so the answer is no. All right, let's look at this one right here. If one number repeats itself, it's not a function.
Like, what if one is positive?
Then those are 2 different. So that was right here. Look, this was -1, this was +1. This was a function because those are not the same number. Okay? Everybody should be paying attention. Here we go. Look at this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did any x repeat itself? No. So is it a function? Do we care that every single y was a 3? No, we do not care about the y's. Everybody okay? Look at this one. I have a 1, a 1, a 1, a 1, and a 1. Is that a function? No. Why? Because the x repeated itself the whole time. Do not overthink this. All you do is look at the x's, and if any x repeats, it's not a function. Everybody good? All right, let's go to tables. What do we only look at? The x's. Which one of these is x's, input or output? The inputs are your x's. Okay, so highlight the x's. We do not care about the y's. Don't look at them. Okay, look over here. -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Is this a function? Why?
Because they don't.
Because no x repeated. Okay, go over here. 3, 4, 5, 4, 10. Is this a function? No. Why? The 4 repeated. Okay, let's look at this one. -2, 0, 2, 4. Yes, it's a function because no x repeats. Look right here. 2, 3, 4, 2. No, it's not a function because the 2's repeat. Do you have any questions so far? Okay, so far we've looked at ordered pairs and tables. Now we're going to look at what is called mapping diagrams. A mapping diagram is a fancy way to make a table. So it's the same thing as a table. So I'm going to teach you how to read this, and then I'm going to teach you the easy way to see if it's a function. So everybody look. This table, actually let's go do this one because it's shorter. To do this, to make a table out of this, you make an XY chart. Everybody do it with me. And you would say, okay, when x is 1, what is y? What is it pointing to? 4. When x is 2, what is y? 4. When x is 3, what is y? So is this a function? Yes. Why? Because no x repeats itself. So yes, this is a function. Now, did it matter that the y's were all 4? No. Now, everybody look. If you don't want to have to make a table, here's what you're going to do. Cover the output column with your hand, and because you don't want to look at it. Ask yourself, does every x only have one line coming out of it? Then it's a function, because it's not repeating. Does that make sense? Go straight across to this one. Go straight across this one. Cover this up. Now, look at the -19. How many lines are coming out? Okay, the -14, the -11, the -9. All right, right here, this is the reason it's no, not a function. Because there are 2 -9s. Does this make sense or no? Okay, go up to the top. Let's go do this one. Cover this up. Ask yourself, does every x only have one line coming out of it? Yes, so this is a function. Okay, go over here. Cover this up. Does every x only have one line coming out? No. What's wrong? The 0 has 2 lines, so this is no, not a function. Do y'all have any questions on mapping diagrams?
They're kind of confused me for the bottom right one.
Do you see how the -9 has 2 lines coming out?
Oh, yes.
Then that's a no. Okay, the last thing we're going to look at are graphs. Now on this, the easiest way to see if it's a function is to perform what is called a vertical line test. The reason is, you don't want to have to go write down all these coordinates. Do y'all agree? If you draw a vertical line, y'all know what a vertical line is? Straight up and down. So a vertical line looks like this. If you draw a vertical line and it touches the graph more than one time, that means the x repeated. Okay, so everybody look at the first graph. Now, you're not looking at the x-axis or the y-axis. You're only looking at what they graphed right here. So do y'all see that graph? If I draw a vertical line, so take your pencil or pen and draw a vertical line, you ask yourself, how many times did that vertical line touch the graph? If it touches one time and one time only, it's a function. Now, you can keep drawing vertical lines as long as they only touch one time. The answer is yes, it's a function. So do y'all see how each of my vertical lines only touched one time? Does everybody see that? Now look at this picture. If I draw a vertical line, how many times is it going to touch? That means the answer is no, it's not a function. And the reason is, these would have repeating x values. If I wrote the coordinates for this, it would be negative 20 something, negative 20 something. Those x's repeat. So what are you looking for when you draw your vertical line? That it only touches? All right, so everybody look at this one. This one has two pictures in it. That doesn't matter. All that matters is when I draw a vertical line, it only touches? So how many times did it touch right here? How many times did it touch over here? So is this a function? Yes. Functions can be crazy squiggly lines, as long as your vertical line only touches one time. So everybody look at this picture. If I draw a vertical line, how many times would it touch? Do it again. How many times would it touch? So is it a function? Yes.
And how do you know whether to put your line?
Wherever you want it. So as long as you draw any vertical line anywhere, it can only touch the picture one time. So everybody look right here. How many times did it touch? How about over here?
One.
All right, so is it a function?
And it has to touch like the box, right?
It just, anywhere where they put the picture, you draw a vertical line. So like over here, I'm not going to draw a vertical line here because it has nothing to do with the picture. I'm going to draw it on the picture. If I drew a vertical line on this picture, how many times would it touch? So is this a function? No. Okay, let's talk about what we just learned. To identify a function, all you care about is that the x does not repeat. And on a graph, you do a vertical line test. It can only touch one time. That's it. Go to the Google Classroom and I will post your assignment.